What's going on, y'all? I want to talk to y'all about something today that's very practical that I believe that can change your life and help it for the better. It certainly has helped me. A lot of business owners, I'm a business owner, and I heard a lot of business owners express this throughout the years. I've seen them express this on Facebook. One person, I felt it in their voice on Facebook. They said, "A lot of money has passed through my hands. I should be a millionaire for real. I don't know what's going on." And then I talked to somebody else again recently, and they said they don't know what's going on. They said they feel like they're barely surviving, and they have all of these different businesses going on, and all this money coming in. But in business, a lot of money comes in and a lot of money goes out. There's a lot of overhead. There's employees to pay. There's rent or lease or mortgage. The supplies, taxes. The list goes on and on and on. But Warren Buffett put it like this. He's one of the wisest investors, or if not the best investor ever. And he said this: you're going to figure out how to make money while you sleep, or you're going to work all of your life. In other words, you got to put your money to work. You got to get to the point where your money works harder than you do. And how do you do that? That's through investing. I look at it like this: I only can do so much with my strength. I can try to leverage with employees. I can try to do this and that. But how much better it is to have your money working for you. Your money doesn't call off. Your money doesn't try to cheat time. Your money doesn't make it excuses. Your money always shows up. And that's what I do. I put my money to work for me in the stock market. And I feel like it's one of the best financial decisions that I've ever made. One, one person expressed that it's going to change for them, and they're going to be able to do something different than what they did last year. But they said that's the definition of insanity: doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You never invested, you don't plan on investing, but you think that your situation is going to change by you doing the same exact thing that you've been doing year in and year out. And I don't think that is going to happen. So I got a fund that I want to feature today. It's the S&P 500. You can buy it through different ticker symbols. This is the most set it and forget it fund. This is the fund that you can do. You don't have to be a Wall Street person. You don't have to have a whole lot of extensive education. You just got to be able to stay steady and stay disciplined. The S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in America. So you're betting on America. Another great thing about this company is that when one company is down at the bottom and it kicks itself out of that 500, they automatically replace it and put another company in its place. So you're constantly getting 500 of the best companies in the whole American economy. Sometimes people say their change is coming, but they're not changing anything they do. They're doing the same thing year in and year out financially. And then they wonder why at the end of the year, they're in the same position that they were in last year, 3 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago. They say this: one of the definitions of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It sounds funny, it sounds ridiculous, but a lot of people do that. They never change up what they're doing. You don't change it up if you like your results. But if you don't like your financial position, you don't like where you're going, you don't like where you're headed, if you feel stuck in the rat race, if you still feel stuck on the corporate plantation, and you're not doing anything to change your finances, it's insane to think that it's going to change on its own. The ticker symbol that I'm featuring today is the S&P 500, or ticker symbol VOO, or SPY. There's a whole lot of different ones that do the same thing, that monitor the same 500 companies. But the point is this: getting into one of those, if you stay steady, just a $100 investment per week for 30 years will put you at $1.2 million. That's the power of compound interest. You would only have put in a couple of 100,000. All of that would be interest or free money if the stock market does what it's been doing for the past 100 years or so. And there's no guarantee that it's going to continue to do that, but it's a good bet that it will continue to do that. Now, some years it gets a 20% return. then 12% return. Some years you get at negative 8%, but it balances out at 10% normally over a 10-year period. You take any 10-year block, it's about 10% that the S&P 500 earns you. And if it does that for the next 30 years, what it's been doing, you have 1.2 million. Now, sometimes when I tell people things like that, they say, oh, that's not going to be no money in 30 years. The dollar ain't going to be worth what it is now. That is true. But I think that you will feel a whole lot better having 1.2 million or $1 million than having no dollars and living paycheck to paycheck in 30 years. God said that he would bless whatever we put our hands to do as Christians. In other words, what are you doing with the time, gifts, and talents that God has given you? All right, are you doing something? Are you giving God something to bless? Or are you just saying, Lord, bless me, while you sit idly? Invest. Ask God to lead you in investing. Ask God to bless you investing, and God will do it. Financial change happens when you change what you're doing financially.